Okay, so this was the diagram that we were discussing yesterday, right? And we had completed discussing this one. So I'll just give a short recap of it. That you start with the with defining the problem, then you do the literature review, then you at least do these two steps before writing the introduction part. Because in writing introduction part, you will have to write about what you are going to do in your research. So in that case you need to finish at least two of the first steps, that is defining the problem and doing the literature review. Then you can start writing. And once you finish of writing the objectives, then you also have to write about the hypothesis. So in that, when you write about the hypothesis, in there only the third step will also be covered. Then after writing the hypothesis, but remember, before writing anything, before writing the hypothesis, the doing the literature review, you have to have clear idea about what you are going to do, what your problems, what is the identified problem of yours, and how you are going to find answer to it. You don't know the answer yet, so you will have to assume the answers. It's like that. Okay, assuming the hypothesis means you need to assume the answers. Then only you can move ahead. Setting a target is like setting a target that by this time, I don't know but how much time will be taken if I walk from Siliguri till Kolkata. So I don't know about the time, but this is my aim to find out the solution for it, find out the exact timing. So it's like you have to assume the timing. You will assume that 5 days will be taken, 5 into 24 hours will be taken for me to walk from Siliguri to Kolkata. So you're assuming, and then you will do it practically. Try to find out the answers. It's like that. Okay, formulating hypothesis means you are assuming about the solution, and then you are moving ahead. So when you are moving ahead, you need to after that you need to find design the research. Design the research means decide about everything, decide about the entire planning of the research, how you are going to move ahead, how you are going to find the answer to your problem. That you need to do in the fourth step. Then in the fifth step, once you design the entire planning of your research, then you need to go for collecting the data. As I told you yesterday also, that if since you're doing a small project, so 7 days time is maximum, is more than enough for the data collection to occur. Okay, and it is the step where you really execute your research. Then in the sixth step, you need to analyze the data. Now again I'm saying, if you are not doing empirical research, I taught you the types of researches, no? So out of that, suppose you are not selecting empirical research but you are selecting conceptual research, then there is no need of analyzing the data also. You can go for just describing the data whatever you have got, and then from the assumption and giving valid reason for your answer, you can do the research that way also. Okay, so testing hypothesis is always also not necessary, but at your stage I am saying, because only 25 marks per project you will be doing. Otherwise I would say that you go for it. But we will teach you how to do the how to test the hypothesis, how to assume that, how to solve, how to find out solution by as going through the assumption of the hypothesis, or everything will be taught to you. Okay, so based on that, if you find yourself comfortable of applying that mathematical knowledge in your research, then you go for it. I would say it will definitely give you good marks. Then once you analyze the data, finally you can easily interpret, because analysis itself gives you the answer of your problem, and then based on that analysis results, you can easily interpret and then report your research. Okay, now when you're reporting, that should not be the end of your entire research process. Okay, why I'm saying is, suppose the report has not been properly framed, has not been properly placed in front of your reviewer. In that case, you will have to get the feedback and move back towards your previous step numbers. That is where which step went wrong, analysis went on, or collection of data went wrong. Like that, you have to go back at least till collection of data. Okay, then again, this one, yeah. So ff means feed forward. That means you move ahead, you go ahead, you're going on the right path. Okay, so once you do the feedback and you found that there are some loopholes in the research, you need to come back. You need to come back at least to the previous two steps. Still, if you're finding not if you're not satisfying getting satisfied by yourself from the results, then you need to entirely go back to the defining of research problem. This is the entire loop of research process. Okay, you need to carefully move ahead. If it is a prolonged research, then if you want to go for higher studies, you want to continue with your subjects which which you are learning these days. If you want to continue with finding answers to some problem which you found, that although this is a theory, still I am not satisfied uh, with the theory's results. Okay, if you are seeing that, then I would suggest please go for higher studies and try to find answers on your own. Okay, even in this research process, if you find this process not to be valid, you can go do a research on this. Go and do the research, find out answer to your problem. That way it goes on. Okay, the main concept about research is finding unknown answers, rather finding answers to known problems. That is how the research process goes on. Okay, anything you want to ask about this, anything you want to know, you can ask. Anybody wants to know anything else about this, or any doubt in your mind about any step, you can ask. Okay, no one want to ask anything then. So now we will discuss the steps individually, although we have had a lot of discussion on this, so I will move a little bit fast on this steps. Okay, because you already know that what is all about defining the research problem. So, the problem means a question or issue to be examined. Research problem refers to some difficulty or need which a researcher experiences in the context of either theoretical or practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. That is what I have been telling you throughout these days, right? Find a problem, find a question, find something which bothers you, then go on doing the research in that field. That way you need to find out, that is the only way to solve your problem. Okay, so I don't think much explanation is required because I have been telling this since the first day ever. Then how do we know we have a research problem? This is important. Yesterday Pratiksha was asking me, no, that ma'am, I don't have pure good knowledge about sales and marketing, so how do I find a problem? So I think this slide will be a little bit of help to you. So how do you know that you have a research problem? By customer complaints. Okay, conversation with company employees, observation of inappropriate behavior or conditions in the firm, deviation from the business plan, success of the firm's competitors, relevant reading of published material, that is trends or regulations, and company records and reports. Understood, Pratiksha? Even if I told you what I suggested, you go and spend an entire day in any shopping mall. Okay, then talk with the shop owner. Talk about a customer who is coming out, irritatingly from a shop. Why is he so much irritated? Then a person went into the shop, stayed for some time, but he or she came out without anything, without buying anything. Sometimes people do it for window shopping. In that case, people will not spend much time in that area. Okay, and an average time will be spent in that area. But if a person is spending a lot of time, that means he's searching for something. It's not he will not just roam about there. So he will search for something, and also from his or her expression you will understand that he's not satisfied with the store. What is the problem? You talk. You need to talk. You cannot only see and assume things. You need to talk also. So do that. Only that is the only way to find out a problem. And if you are doing an internship, then it is very much important to speak with everyone within the organization. Target 5 or 6 people every day. Go and talk to them. Try to find out what the problems they are facing right now in the company, or what do they expect from the company, how they behave, how is their attitude towards work. So all these things will give you, definitely will give you some research problem. Understood. This is how you should proceed. Then in this slide, you can see that even success of the firm's competitors can be a research problem for you. Why? Because the other company which is selling the same type of product, that is succeeding and not you. Why? You need to find answer for that. Okay. So that way also you can find out the question, research problem. Then published material, this becomes a little bit of boring because you don't get to interact with the real life people, real life things. So I would suggest don't go ahead with this reading of the published material. I know you don't have a habit of reading. It's not your fault, it's a fault of the trend that is going on in this current situation. So you don't have a proper habit of reading, so I would suggest skip this step. Better is you go and spend some time somewhere. Spend some time in the malls. Go and visit the hills. Go and spend some time in some resort. Then try to find out the problems. That way you find out. This becomes more interesting and more realistic also. Okay. The first step in the research process, definition of the problem, that is, definition of the problem involves two activities. One is identification or selection of the problem, and the second is formulation of the problem. Okay, you need to identify, and then you need to formulate in theoretical perspective. Otherwise, you cannot present it in good format. Okay, seeing about a problem then writing about it is going to be a little bit of difficult. In that way you need to find out the formulation of the problem, otherwise it is going to be difficult for you to write about that problem. Okay, formulate the problem properly so that you can write about it. Okay, then what is identification and selection of the problem? This step involves identification of a few problems and selection of one out of them. Select only one. Okay, that is the best way to do a research. Select only one problem, not more than one, strictly not more than one. Then after evaluating the alternatives against certain selection criteria, so then you বর্ষা আসছে। Okay, so you need to evaluate the alternatives as well, otherwise you are not going to select the best alternative out of the available ones. Okay, all right. Then sources of problems, this can be the different sources you can read. Then through your only experience in the academic field, then daily experience, exposure to field situations, consultations, brainstorming, sit with some people, sit with your friends, then brainstorm, go in groups to some area, then brainstorm what are the problems in this area. This way you can find out the sources of the problems. Then research, sit with Google and then do research. Then intuition, your own perception, your own sixth sense, there can be a problem. Then visit that place, find out the real problem out there. These are the sources. Then criteria of selection, how do you select a particular problem? Suppose you found 10 problems from a particular area, from a particular shopping mall, from a particular tourist spot. Then how will you select one out of many? one out of those 10 problems. So first criteria is internal or personal criteria. This is researcher's own interest, his competence, researcher's own resource, that is finance and time. You need finance also, right? For visiting some place you need finance, you need money, and the time also to go and visit that place, isn't it? So your own criteria, which is going to be more comfortable for me, which area is going to be more accessible for me, like that also you need to select. Okay. Then external criteria: researchability of the problem, importance and urgency, novelty of the problem, feasibility, facilities, usefulness, and social relevance, research personnel. So if, you need to evaluate now. Once you are clear about your own criteria, that is, this place is convenient for me, this place is much more accessible for me, like that you found, select one. Then you go on evaluating the external factors, such as the importance of the problem, how valid is going to be the research, is it feasible enough, that means it is viable enough, can I really do a research on this, then how much useful will be the answer if I am able to find a solution to it, how much importance it is going to be to the society, to my friends, to my family, to the company owners, how much importance it is going to be everyone, for everyone, like that you need to evaluate now about the external factors of the identified problems. That way you need to select the best problem. Then what is formulation? I told you, once you don't formulate the problem properly, it is going to be difficult for you to write. So formulation is the process of refining the research ideas into research questions and objectives. Now you need to formulate it, okay? Formulate a rough idea into proper questions and objectives. That becomes your research objectives. Understood? Are you getting my point? That for you have to refine the ideas. It is something like you bought some raw material from the market and then you give a finished look to this product, to the items which you have brought. So this is something like that. Okay, you need to now transform the rough ideas into valid questions, and that will help you to formulate your research objectives. that is the that is all about formulation of the problem. And it also means translating and transforming the selected research problem or topic or idea into a scientifically researchable question. It is concerned with specifying exactly what the research problem is. Okay, you come, you identify a problem, give me a rough idea, I will help you to formulate the research problem in proper way. Okay, that is the faculty members part. So we will help you to formulate the problem properly so that you can move ahead with finding answers. Problem definition or statement is a clear, precise, and succinct statement of the question or issue that is to be investigated with the goal of finding an answer or solution. This problem identification or defining the problem statement has to be clear to all of you by now. There are two ways of stating a problem: posting question or questions and making declarative statements. Declarative statement means, suppose the person with whom you are interacting, he is unable to say something. Suppose you are asking how is the behavior of the shop owner. This is your question, your posting question. Okay, but you are not seeing that, you are seeing that the other person is not answering you properly. Maybe he is hesitant or he is not able to frame the answer properly, like that it is happening. Then what you can do, there is an alternative interesting way also. You make a statement that the shop owner's behavior is rude, then give marking 5 for very rude, 4 for moderately rude, 3 okay, not rude, not polite also, 2 polite, and 1 very polite. Like that you give a statement. Are you understanding? So if you're posing a open question, if you're not getting proper answer, then do this type of statements. Give this type of statements. It will help you to receive a proper idea, proper answer. Okay. All right. So now, is it? This is going to take a long. Time. Okay. Acha, what is the process? Then statement of the problem in a general way. As I told you, go and find out it in a general way. Just relax in relax mode. Go and visit the malls, and then find out the problem in a general way. Not much hectic in a not much hectic way. Okay, in a general way. Just you identify the problem. This can be a problem like that. Second is understanding the nature of the problem. Now you sit with the problem. Go, come back home and now sit and try to think about the problem. Then surveying the available literature. Then find out the literature. Is it really a problem that I only identified, or some people have already identified in the past? If so, then that becomes more intense. That intensifies your research. Okay. Somebody was saying yesterday only that if one I have thought about a problem and other person have already thought about that problem, is it yes, it is valid, it is even more valid. Okay, it indicates that you are going on the right way. Sit with the problem, then survey the literature, available literature of the past which have already been done. Then see that yes, whether this was a problem in another area. If yes, then I'm going in the right way. Then developing ideas through discussions. Discuss with everyone in and around. Then rephrasing the research problem. Finally, you rephrase the research problem in a proper way. That is going to lead you towards formulating the research in the best possible way. Okay. Okay, so today this much only. Let me take the attendance, and if you want to ask anything, please ask. Okay, don't you try to listen to me. I'm not giving you task how very much tough task. No, I'm just teaching you. If you find that I'm teaching you in a boring way, then also you should tell me, because whatever I'm saying, no, it is very important for you to understand. Otherwise, you're not going to do the research in a proper way. All right. So do tell me, what is your problem? What wherever you are facing, what are your doubts in the discussion, in the lecture? Everything you should tell. Otherwise, how the teachers are going to come to know? Then we will have to wait for the feedback form, feedbacks of yours, will for understanding where you are facing the problems. Okay. So better is you directly tell to the teachers where you're facing the problem, where you're having doubts, so that we can do it in a better way. Okay. Please tell me your names. See the participants list. Tell me alphabetically, please. Tell me your
Ma'am
names.
Pratiksha,
Hmm.
Prayash,
Hmm.
Rajeshwari,
Huh.
and myself, Yogesh.
Okay. All right. Okay. Attendance is given. You can leave the class. Okay. See you again at advertising for marketing class.
Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye.